Hello, everyone. This is our presentation for social support and its correlation to stress, done by Haley, myself, Josiah, and Jonathan. As human beings, we tend to find satisfaction and accomplishment in completing our goals, whether that's at work, school, or just in our daily lives. We do this every day while believing that we can regulate our stressors, but what happens when we hit a hurdle and all the stress piles on? We might have certain people in our lives to pick us up and support us to achieve these things. This could be family, friends, or a partner in life. Does social support really play this big of a role in our lives? Many studies contribute to the significance of social support regarding stress levels, but the most influential could be the study by Wang et al., done in 2014, which focused on the effectiveness of social support on the relationship between stress and depression among university students. The analysis in the research explained that depression in college students has a positive correlation with stress, meaning that stress significantly contributes to depression levels. Additionally, higher levels of social support indicated lower levels of stress and thus lower levels of depression. We can also see this in individuals who have recently experienced a traumatic situation. Zhu and Wei investigated the relationship between anxiety and depression with Chinese earthquake survivors by using social support as a moderator. The participants were Wancheng earthquake survivors, which took place a year before the study was conducted. The study found that social support could lessen the association between anxiety and depression, with women with lower incomes and education benefiting the most. We hypothesized that participants with social support networks among close friends and family would exhibit lower levels of stress in their day to day lives compared to those with weaker social support networks. We also hypothesized that the order in which questions are asked will affect the outcome. Participants consisted of a clustered convenience sample of 134 undergraduate students. The sample was collected from an urban community college in the Southwest region. Participants were randomly assigned to one of the two conditions. In both conditions, participants were asked to rate their social support on a scale of 1 to 7 and their stress levels on a scale of 1 to 4. The only difference between the two groups were the order in which the participants answered the questions. Some participants answered stress related questions first, and some participants answered social support related questions first. Our independent variable was perceived social support. We measured social support by utilizing the multidimensional scale of perceived social support created by Zimit G. et al. In 1988. Our dependent variable was stress levels. Stress is a complex emotion as well as a state of being. We decided to conceptualize this variable by defining it as stressors that are perceived as unwanted challenges. We measured this variable by using the Perceived Stress Questionnaire developed by S. Levenstein et al. We had participants answer two sets of items. One measured perceived stress and the other measured perceived social support. Two versions of the questionnaire were created, the only difference between the two being the order of the questions. Participants were randomly assigned to one of the two online Google Forms. Participants were given a questionnaire that measured their perceived stress and perceived social support. Upon calculating the results, participants had reported high levels of stress along with high levels of social support, as seen in the graphs. Group 1 had reported less high levels of stress compared to Group 2 and had reported higher amounts of moderate levels of support. Unlike Group 1, Group 2 was administered the multidimensional scale of perceived social support followed by the perceived stress questionnaire. Upon calculating the results, participants reported high levels of stress, along with high levels of social support as seen in the graphs on the next slide. Group 2 also showed a statistically significant result, unlike Group 1. As you can see, both groups showed a negative correlation. Although social support was reported as high for most participants, their stress levels were high nonetheless. The results we found from our dataset did not support our hypothesis of having higher social support would result in lower stress levels. On the contrary, it seemed that those with more support reported to have experienced more stress rather than less. We also hypothesized that the order in which questions were asked would affect the outcome. Both questionnaires yielded similar results to one another, but a statistically significant result was found in Group 2. Overall, we think that our study was beneficial. We were able to test our hypotheses by measuring social support and stress levels of undergraduate college students. Our knowledge on this topic has now been expanded, and if we were to replicate this study, we think it would be beneficial to collect demographic data, as we would be able to see if age group acted as a moderator between social support and stress.